Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm pretty excited to take the remaining 5-minute call on this members' bill, and I want to thank, firstly, my coalition partners for their support in taking this to the Select Committee. It's excellent, and I think this is going to make a real difference to New Zealand businesses and employees. Firstly, it's not a surprise that the opposition are opposing this bill. I mean, it's no surprise to all New Zealanders. I don't think that they actually have been out in the community talking to businesses and talking to employees. Hell, I don't even know if they've actually talked to their unions about this bill, because nowhere in this bill does it say that it's a fire-at-will bill. Nowhere in this bill does it say that tomorrow I can offer you a sum of money and you'll be coerced to take it. This bill is about having those mutual conversations that we know two parties are growing up enough to actually be able to sit down and have. The fact that it's even mutual in the first place means that if an employer offers this out to an employee to have this conversation, they can say, no, I don't want to talk about that. So there is absolutely no way in which an employee can be coerced to even having this conversation in the first place. To target some of the points that I heard from the previous members, is there an power imbalance? Inherently, when you are paying somebody to do a job, there will
100%.
always be some kind of power imbalance.
100%.
But you know what is a complete power imbalance right now? Is employees pushing the boundary to employers and actually breaking the rules just enough, ensuring that maybe they may get fired, maybe they may not. The employer's going through the process if you're a small business, and maybe you don't follow something to T, maybe you do follow it to T. And then you have these no-win, no-fee guys out there that come along and they say to a business, hey, we believe there might be a case for a PG, this person here wants 20k, and you've got these businesses saying, are you serious? This employee has given me grief for the last year. But do you know what? They pay them to go away. They actually pay them because they're afraid of what the process might be next. They're absolutely terrified of what that process might be. And on this side of the House, we live in the real world, so we know that this is a problem. No good employer would get rid of a good employee. There is absolutely no incentive to do that.
It was just John, my lord.
Do I agree that there are some potential concerns with this bill? 100% I do, and I want to acknowledge those concerns, and I'm pretty positive about what we could see we could have at the Select Committee. There could be some timing suggested. We don't want any pressure, and we want to make sure that these things are addressed. So I agree that there are some little weak points within this piece of legislation, but it's a members' bill. It's a members' bill, and it's around the idea that we need to make it easier to do business in this country.
100%.
I was hearing quite a few different things coming from the opposition around eroding workers' rights, you know, and making it all these convoluted things that employers might do to employees. But do you know what erodes an employee's rights? Having to go through a performance review when you know that actually there's a relationship breakdown between yourself and your manager. You know they're trying to get rid of you, and you have to go through those steps anyway. What happens when you know that your company is restructuring you out, yet you've got to show up to work? And we know that we've got things in place for this. It's called going against your employer for a PG. But employers are using these mechanisms to move people on because they're unable to just have an adult conversation.
100%.
A conversation about what it may mean for them to move on. And we're not saying, hey, here's your job, we want your job, see you later. We're actually saying, hey, we acknowledge that it's hard out there. We acknowledge you may need to go through some steps to get other employment, but we're going to compensate you for that, because that is the right way to do it. And you know, the amount of conversations that I had with employees about this bill, nearly all of them, I would say 98% of the employees who had been through a PG, been through restructure processes, been through performance management review, all said to me, had their employer approached them at the start and said, these are the problems we're having, this is what an offer I'd make for you to leave your employment, they said that they would have taken that, because their reputation would be intact, their dignity would be intact, and they'd have something to actually walk away with. I mean, this side of the House seem to think that low and middle-income employees are going to be actually completely destroyed by this. Low and middle-income employees in New Zealand don't often even have redundancy packages or clauses in their agreements anymore.
Well said.
So how about they can actually walk away with some coin in the hand and some dignity and actually move on? So, Mr. Speaker, I look forward to the Select Committee working on this bill, and I commend the bill to the House. Thank you.